Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I will be covering what is OSI reference model and then I will explain 7 layers of OSI model. Guys, I will explain each and every layer in detail. Guys, I have uploaded complete computer network subject tutorials. I will provide that link in description, you can watch from there. If you are watching this video for the first time, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. Guys, for example, I am in India and my friend is in UK. In my computer, I will open WhatsApp web and then I will send message hello to my friend who is in UK. So whenever I send hello message to my friend, that message is not sent directly to my friend. Instead, my message is passed from various layers and then my message is reached to person who is in UK. So OSI model contains various layers and each layer will perform various tasks. That is nothing but each layer will perform various operations. Guys, OSI model is just a reference model. It is not implemented anywhere. Just it is a reference model, that's it. By seeing this reference model, we can clearly know how data will be transferred from one computer to another computer in a network. And this OSI model was developed by International Organization for Standardization. Shortly we call it as ISO. So OSI model was developed by ISO in the year 1984. Guys, OSI, where OSI stands for Open Systems Interconnection. OSI model is a reference model that explains how data is transferred from one computer to another computer over a network. It was developed by International Organization for Standardization, shortly we call it as ISO, in the year 1984. The OSI model has 7 layers. Each layer will perform specific function. Next I will explain characteristics of OSI model. Guys, OSI model is divided into two parts. They are upper layers and lower layers. Upper layer contains application layer, presentation layer and session layer, and whereas lower layer contains transport layer, network layer, data link layer and physical layer. Guys, each layer will perform certain tasks and each layer will communicate with above layer and as well as below layer. For example, if you consider presentation layer will communicate with application layer and as well as session layer. So each layer will communicate with above layer and as well as below layer. OSI model allows hardware and software systems communicate smoothly. Because for example, I will send message by using WhatsApp web. So WhatsApp web is considered as software. Whenever I send message using WhatsApp web, that message is transferred from various hardware devices like cables, routers, switches, etc. So by using OSI model, hardware and software both can communicate each other smoothly. Guys, OSI model is layered approach. Layered approach is nothing but our network is divided into various layers. So if we divide our network into various layers, then network management will be easy and troubleshooting will be easy. Guys, troubleshooting is nothing but if we get any problem to our network, we can easily solve that problem. This is meaning of troubleshooting. These are 7 layers in OSI model. On that, application layer, presentation layer, session layer and transport layer. These 4 layers are handled by computer. So computer is nothing but host. So these 4 layers are handled by host. And whereas if you consider network layer, data link layer and physical layer, these 3 layers are handled in network. So these 3 layers are responsibility of the network. I will give one simple trick in order to remember all these 7 layers. Guys, AP, ST and DP. If you remember this formula, you can easily remember all these 7 layers. Where A stands for application layer, P stands for presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer and physical layer. Guys, first layer is not application layer. First layer is physical layer. We need to start from downward direction. So first layer is physical layer, second layer is data link layer, third layer is network layer and so on. So formula is AP, ST and DP. These are 7 layers in OSI model. I will explain each and every layer in detail. In exam they may ask each layer separately, like explain physical layer in OSI model, explain network layer in OSI model and so on. So you need to be perfect on each and every layer. At first I will explain what is physical layer. Guys, physical layer is the first layer and lowest layer in the OSI model. The name itself says physical layer. If you want to establish connection between devices physically, then we need physical layer. I'll give one example. Guys, for example, I want to send message hello to my friend who is in UK. So if you want to send message, then at first you need to connect these devices. So by using physical layer, we can connect devices. And connection can be either wired or wireless. If we connect a device using wires, Then data is transferred in the form of electrical signals. And if we connect a device using wireless, then data is transferred in the form of radio waves or light waves. So what physical layer will do is, physical layer will connect the devices and connection can be either wired or wireless. So first task done by physical layer is to connect the devices. Guys, physical layer will also handle hardware components like cables, routers, switches, etc. After establishing connection, physical layer will convert our data into bits, that is zeros and ones. For example, I will send message hello. Physical layer will convert my message into zeros and ones. So this hello is converted into zeros and ones like 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, so on. So duty of physical layer is to convert our data into bits, that is in the form of zeros and ones. So physical layer will establish connection between devices either by using wires or wireless. And physical layer will also convert our data into bits, that is in the form of zeros and ones. And physical layer will also control data speed, that is how much speed data must be transferred in network. Guys, physical layer will support different connections. They are point-to-point connection and multi-point connection. Point-to-point connection is nothing but if we connect to two devices directly by using cable, then we call it as point-to-point connection. And whereas multi-point connection means all devices are connected by using router. This is example of multi-point connection. So physical layer will support different types of connections. And physical layer will also decide topology, how we arrange our computers physically. We call that arrangement as topology. Some companies will follow star topology, some companies will follow ring topology, and some companies will follow bus topology. Physical layer will decide topology, that is nothing but how to arrange computers. Physical layer will define transmission modes. There are three types of transmission modes. They are simplex, half duplex, and full duplex. Simplex is nothing but one-way communication. For example, two computers are connected to each other. Only one computer can send message. Next computer cannot send message. This is meaning of one-way communication. That is simplex. And whereas in half duplex, two computers can communicate each other. Like they can send messages. But in half duplex, two computers cannot send message at a time. And whereas in full duplex, two computers can send message at a time. Thus, all these are various kinds of functions or operations performed by physical layer. Guys, in exam, you need to explain each and every function clearly. This is all about first layer, that is physical layer. Next, I will explain what is data link layer. Main duty of data link layer is to transfer data without any errors. For example, I will send a message hello to my friend, but due to some noise or cable problem, my data is reached to receiver like JELLO. In place of HELLO, my friend will receive data like JELLO. So, such errors are handled by data link layer. That is, data link layer will identify errors and as well as data link layer will correct that errors. Like, it will change J to H. So, main duty of data link layer is to transfer data without any errors. Guys, before explaining various operations of data link layer, you need to know what is IP address and what is MAC address. For example, we can identify any person by using Aadhaar number. As each and every person contains unique Aadhaar number, we can identify any person by using Aadhaar number. In same way, we can identify any device by using IP address and MAC address. At first, I will explain what is IP address. For example, I took Jio Internet connection. So whenever I took Jio Internet service provider like Jio, Airtel, Active FiberNet, etc. will assign me one number, and this number is assigned to our router. We call that number as IP number. That is IP address. IP address is unique number given to our router by Jio company. By using this IP address, we can access internet. So all devices can access internet by connecting to this router by using IP address, where IP stands for Internet Protocol. By using IP address, we can identify devices in internet. This is all about IP address. Next, I will explain what is MAC address. For example, I purchase a Dell laptop. So Dell company manufacturer will give me one number. We call that number as MAC number. That is MAC address. Each and every device contains unique MAC address. By using that MAC address, we can identify devices. Whereas IP address is given by internet service provider, and whereas MAC address is given by company manufacturer. For example, I purchased iPhone. So for this iPhone, Apple company manufacturer will give me one unique number to identify this device. We call that unique number as MAC number. Guys, data link layer will not send our data directly. Instead, data link layer will add our data into frame. Guys, frame is like parcel. Instead of sending our data directly, Data link layer will parcel our data. That is, data link layer will add our data into frame and then it will send data. Thus, whenever data link layer add our data into frame, along with our data, it will add sender MAC address and as well as receiver MAC address. Guys, I already said before what is MAC address. MAC address is like Aadhaar number. If you want to identify any person, we can identify by using Aadhaar number. In same way, if you want to identify any device, we can identify device by using MAC number, where MAC stands for Media Access Control Address. So along with our data link layer will add sender MAC address and as well as receiver MAC address. By using these addresses, data will be received to correct person by identifying MAC address. So main duty of data link layer is to transfer data without any errors, and data link layer will add our data into frames, and along with our message, data link layer will add sender MAC address and as well as receiver MAC address. And by combining all this, data link layer will send our data. Our data will be traveled in network based on IP address. I already said before, our router is assigned with one IP address. So whenever I send hello message, at first my data is transferred to router based on IP address, and there are various kinds of devices connected to this router like laptop, computer, mobiles, etc. Whenever our data is reached to router, and if there is MAC address match, then data is transferred to this computer. This is how data will be transferred in network. These are 5 main functions of data link layer. And the first one is framing. Instead of sending our data directly, data link layer will place our data in frame. Frame is like parcel. Data link layer will place our data in frame and then it will send our data. And second function is adding MAC address. Along with our data link layer will add sender MAC address and as well as receiver MAC address in order to identify devices, so that data will be transferred to correct computer. And third one is flow control. As for example, in your college, there is one below average student and principal said to prepare him 10 subjects in one day. As average student, that person cannot prepare 10 subjects at a time. It is burden for him. In same way, flow control means how much speed receiver will receive data. In that speed, sender must send data. Guys, for example, receiver is very slow. If sender will send data very fast, then it will be burden for this computer. This computer cannot handle that much data at a time. That is why there must be flow control. Flow control means how much speed receiver can receive data. In that speed, sender must send data. If receiver is receiving data very slow, then sender must also send data very slow. And data link layer also manages error control. Thus, data link layer will detect errors and as well as it will correct errors. And next one is access control. Data link layer will send data based on MAC address. It will not send data to each and every computer. It will send data to only correct computer. So access control means which device can communicate in network. This is meaning of access control. All these are various functions of data link layer. Data link layer contains 2 sublayers. They are logical link control layer and media access control layer, that is MAC layer. This logical link control layer will manage data flow. That is why data will be transferred smoothly. And next one is MAC layer. Along with our data, MAC layer will assign MAC address of sender and receiver to our data. By using MAC address, we can identify devices in network. These are 2 sublayers of data link layer. So in network, at first our data is transferred to physical layer, where physical layer will establish connection between devices and it will convert our data into binary format, that is in the form of zeros and ones. From physical layer, our data is transferred to data link layer, where data link layer will handle errors, and along with this data link layer will add MAC address of sender and receiver in order to identify devices. This is all about data link layer. Next I will explain what is network layer. Network layer is based on IP address. I already explained what is IP address. IP address stands for Internet Protocol Address. Internet service providers like Jio, Act Fiber Net, Airtel, they will give that address and IP address will be assigned to each router. So all devices connected to that router can access internet. So network layer will identify sender and receiver based on IP address. After identifying devices, now network layer will send data. In network layer, instead of sending complete data at a time, our data is divided into packets. Packets are nothing but pieces. For example, I want to send how are you to my friend who is in UK. So whenever I send message how are you, the data is divided into packets like how is one packet, R is one packet and U is one packet. So piece of data is known as packet. So duty of network layer is to divide our data into packets and each packet will find the best route in order to reach to destination. So this packet will find the best route. Similarly, this packet will find the best route. this packet will find the best route. So each packet will find the best route in order to reach to destination very fast. So after reaching destination, complete data will be arranged in order, like data will be arranged like how are you, and then this data is read by receiver. So network layer will identify device based on IP address, and then it will divide our data into packets, and each packet will find best route in order to reach to destination. Guys, in internet, data is transferred very fast because data is divided into packets and each packet will find a best route. Because of that best route, data will be reached to receiver very fast. As for example, I'm in India, so my computer in India is considered as one network and my friend computer in UK is other network. Both networks can communicate each other based on IP address. So, network layer will establish connection between multiple networks. These are functions of network layer. And the first one is internetworking. Internetworking means connecting multiple networks. And second one is addressing. Network layer will identify device based on IP address. At first, data is sent to router based on IP address. From router, data is reached to computer based on MAC address, as each computer will have unique MAC address. And third function of network layer is routing. Each packet will find the best route in order to reach to destination. And fourth one is packetizing. Complete data is not sent at a time. Instead, data is divided into packets. Each piece of data is known as packet. So all packets will find the best route and then those packets will reach to destination. This is all about network layer. So from data link layer, data is transferred to network layer. So where network layer will allow different networks to communicate based on IP address. Network layer will divide our data into packets and then it will send our data. This is duty of network layer. So from network layer, our data is transferred to transport layer. So next I will explain what is transport layer. Guys, transport layer will send our data without any errors. Transport layer will ensure that whether receiver received correct data or not. Whenever transport layer send our data, it will break our data into segments like various small pieces, and then after reaching to destination, this transport layer will rearrange segments in order. After rearranging segments in order, data will be sent to destination. Destination will read that message. Guys, there are two main protocols in transport layer. They are TCP protocol and UDP protocol, where TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. Guys, Transmission Control Protocol will send our data from source to destination by checking errors. So Transmission Control Protocol is good because while transmitting data, it will check errors. And next one is UDP protocol, where UDP stands for User Datagram Protocol. Guys, TCP protocol is slow because it will check errors. And whereas UDP protocol is fast because it will send data from sender to receiver very fast because it will not check any errors. So main duty of transport layer is to break our data into segments, and transport layer will reassemble segments after reaching to destination. These are three main functions of transport layer, and the first one is segmentation and reassembling, and second one is flow control. Thus flow control is nothing but preventing fast sender from slow receiver. If receiver is receiving very slow, then sender must send data very slow. So keeping sender and receiver in sync is known as flow control. And next one is error control. That's same like data link layer. While transmitting data, if any segment is lost, again transport layer will send that lost segment. So receiver will receive correct data. So from transport layer, data is transferred to session layer. So next I will explain what is session layer. Session layer will manage session establishment, maintenance, termination between applications, handles login and authentication, uses synchronization points to resume data transfer after a failure. Guys, session is nothing but starting from sending our data to till termination. That is, after person receive message, we need to close connection. We call this entire thing as session. Session layer will handle login and authentication. If two computers want to communicate each other, then at first they need to establish connection. For example, these two computers want to communicate each other. This person will enter password like 123. Similarly, this person also must enter same password. So sender password and receiver password. If both matches, then authentication is successful. Computers can communicate each other. This is meaning of authentication. And this authentication is done by session layer. As for example, this computer is sending data to this computer. While sending data is reached till here, and here there is connection failure. And session layer can resume data when there is data failure. Guys, there are two functions of session layer. They are dialogue control and synchronization. Dialogue control means it will manage communication between devices like simplex, half duplex and full duplex. Simplex means if two computers connected to each other, Only one computer can send data. Other computer cannot send data. This is meaning of simplex. And half duplex mean two computers can send data, but two computers cannot send data at a time. And full duplex mean two computers can send data at a time. And second one is synchronization. Guys, our data is transferred to other person through various routers. While transferring data, if there is any data failure, so instead of again starting from first, from that router where data failure occur, from that router, again we need to resume data. This is meaning of synchronization. And next one is presentation layer. Name itself says presentation layer. That is nothing but presenting our data in readable format. Normally, physical layer will convert our data into zeros and ones. But again after reaching to destination, this person must read hello message. So presentation layer will convert our data into readable format. That is, it will convert zeros and ones into text. Presentation layer converts our data into readable format, and then presentation layer also provides security. These are functions of presentation layer. And the first one is translation. Converting our data into readable format, which will be understandable by receiver, is known as translation. And second one is encryption and decryption. Guys, encryption and decryption, both are techniques for providing security. So presentation layer will provide security. And third one is compression. As for example, you are transferring file, that file size is very large. So presentation layer will compress that size. So presentation layer will reduce file size for faster transmission. And last one is application layer. This is seventh layer in OSI model, that is last layer. Thus user will transfer data by using various kinds of applications. For example, if you consider Google Chrome, Firefox, by using Google Chrome and Firefox, we can transfer data using internet. As we are directly interacting with web browsers like Google Chrome and Firefox, this application layer is close to end users like us. So application layer will handle various kinds of applications like Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, etc. By using these applications, we can send emails, we can do web browsing, and we can also transfer files. And this application layer contains various kinds of protocols like HTTP protocol, FTP protocol, SMTP protocol, and DNS protocol. Protocols are nothing but rules. By using that protocols, computers can communicate each other in internet. Okay, these are three functions of application layer. And the first one is file transfer. By using applications like Google Chrome, we can upload and as well as we can download files. And second one is email services. By using SMTP protocol, we can transfer messages by using email. And next one is remote access. As for example, I'm in India, I want to access my friend computer which is in UK. I can directly access that computer by using internet. This is meaning of remote access. So application layer will support file transfer, email services and as well as remote access. This is complete summary of various layers. This is structure of OSI model. Node A is nothing but sender and node B is receiver. Nodes are nothing but computers. So from sender side, data will start from top to bottom, and from receiver side, data will reach from bottom to top. So data will flow in this direction. A sender side application layer and receiver side application layer, both will communicate each other by using protocol. Protocol is nothing but set of rules. By following these rules, two layers can communicate each other. Like that, each and every layer will communicate each other by using various kinds of protocols. So these four layers will communicate directly by using protocols, and whereas network layer, data link layer and physical layer, they will communicate each other by using internal protocols. Physical layer will convert our data into bits, data layer will place our data in frame and then it will transfer our data, and whereas network layer will transfer our data by dividing our data into packets, where APDU stands for Application Protocol Data Unit and PPDU stands for Presentation Protocol Data Unit, SPDU stands for Session Protocol Data Unit, and TPDU stands for Transport Protocol Data Unit. This is complete structure of OSI model. This is how your data will be transferred from sender to receiver through various layers. This is all about OSI model.